This video is going to be on editing and adding new pages. So right now I'm going to flip on over to the admin area or the back end. I'm in my dashboard, so I'm going to click on over here on the left hand side, pages. Notice all of these, or at least most of these little menus over here, have a little arrow when you hover over them. This will actually, they have like subcategories or sub-menus underneath them. For example, on this pages, I can click on either the main pages here or all pages underneath here, and it's going to take me to the same place. So I click on here and it brings me to my page listing. So actually I can see this good long list of all the pages that are on the site currently. Anything with one dash is a child page of one that doesn't have the dash right above it. If it has two dashes, like we have over here, that means that's a subpage of a subpage or a grandchild page. These and etc. It would go, if you had a subpage of a subpage of a subpage, I guess that would be a great grandchild page. It would have 3 dashes in front of it. Anyway, we're going to go in and edit an existing page, but I'm actually going to edit one that has draft. This actually means it's saved in the back end, but not public. So I can make a lot of changes and then I don't have to worry about, messing things up on the website. So for the tutorial purposes, we're going to edit this one. Okay, so the main portion, so when I click on it, I get my main edit page. This, the main areas that you're going to focus on are here. This is the title, so that's going to be what it shows up on the sub nav or the nav, for example, as well as being as the title up on the top of the page. Actually, I'm going to click on here over here on the right hand side, the preview button, so that we can see what we're doing, and then we can make any changes. So see here, we've got right up at the top, this is the page title. It also shows up here on the breadcrumbs. And then we'll actually show up here. This address here will be the permalink or the website address. If, for example, I change this to technology and computers, and I wanted to change, I can actually change the website address, not the main portion of it, but I can change this last portion. So I can say technology and computers to keep it consistent. I'm not going to actually do that, but that would be, if, for example, you change the page name, it's good practice to kind of keep them consistent, because otherwise it might be confusing. So if you hand out a link that says, chickens and elephants, and then there's only pictures of giraffes, you know what I mean. Anyway, so that title, and then this main edit screen, there's some important things over on the right side. For example, the save draft, the preview, the publish, and move to trash little area here. Page attributes, featured image, revision, excerpt, and this is the main edit screen. If any of these pieces is not showing up in your screen, that probably means that they're unchecked. If you click up here on the right hand, in the upper right hand corner under screen options, you'll see that you can actually turn on and off your view of a lot of different functions. There's actually a whole lot of other stuff that you can show up on your edit screen here. Sometimes the excerpt might be unchecked and then you would not see it there. But if I check it, it shows up. This doesn't turn on and off things on the website. It only is making them visible or not visible on your edit screen. Again, these are settings that are saved just for you, and so they're not making any other changes. So feel free to turn, if you don't need to see the revisions, you can turn them off if it's feeling cluttered, and you can always go and turn them back on your view right here in the screen options in the upper right hand corner. So the main portion of a page is that content. So the content in here, let's just grab some Greek text just so that we have something to play with. So I'm just going to copy and oops, I'm going to paste it right here in this main screen here. So I can go through and add text. I can change and make paragraphs. I can actually go in here and make another subtitle. I can grab it. So all of these kind of WYSIWYG buttons, what you see is what you get. So any things of these that I'm changing, and I'll just go and save draft. And I'm going to go back over once it finishes its little, okay. I can preview my page here. I'm just going to refresh my preview, and there's all my text. Nothing really exciting, but I can go in and change things. These little buttons will make different formatting changes. For example, if I want to make this sentence or half of sentence bold, I highlight it and hit the B for making it bold. Some of these, you may not see the second row right off the bat, but that is this little button here on the right, the second last one on the right. If I hover over it, and it says show hide kitchen sink. I like to keep this shown because this gives me my option to create subtitles. So I'm going to select this subtitle, and I want to make it a heading. So I would recommend not using heading 1 or heading 2 because those are the large ones, like for example the page title. But 3, 4, 5, 6, feel free to use any of these. So I'm going to say this is an important heading. I'm going to do heading 3. So I'm going to click on that and notice that makes it bigger and bolder. Now if I go and save, I'll go back over to my preview. This isn't live again. This is just here. There's my subtitle and there's my bold text. I can go through and, format all this as I want. I can even go and add images by clicking on this upload and insert photo. I can put in an excerpt, which let me just grab that much. We don't need too much on the excerpt because what this is going to do is give us our little intro paragraph and then the click here, read more. So we want to keep this nice and short. Something just a general, you want it to make people want to click on the read more, but you want it to be summarizing what the page is. So people aren't going to just click on something blindly. I actually want to know more information about technology and media. So have a little excerpt on what you discuss on that page. And over here, a featured image. If we look on, for example, the what we do, these are all these subpages, and this is the featured image. This is the excerpt, and this is the page title. So if we have, for example, this page is going to be a subpage under resources, we definitely want to put a nice little image here so that it'll match all the other ones. So basically, nice little thumbnail image, the title, and then the excerpt, and then the read more. So we want to match this. So I'm going to hit set featured image. And this is going to allow me to upload a file from my computer. So I have an image saved on my desktop. It's about 1,000 pixels wide, which is a good size. Anything larger than that, it gets to be a little bit clunky just because it takes a longer time to upload. But WordPress will automatically crunch the file into different sizes for the web. So you can upload larger photos and you don't have to edit them or crop them beforehand. It's just a matter of bandwidth and like how long do you want to spend uploading photos. So that's all. That's all that the, keeping an eye on the size will do right now. So I'm going to hit open. It uploads the photo, crunches it, and this is now it's creating all these different sizes. And now it shows me, here's my image information. I'm going to change the title. I'm going to say computers or row of computers. Alternative text is basically for screen readers and search engines. So I'll just put some describing text in there so that if, someone is visiting our site who is blind and using and viewing our site from a screen reader, then the screen reader is going to say, this is a photo of image of laptops. That's all. If I wanted to, all of this other stuff is going to be, I'll cover this later. But the main thing, to use it as a featured image, I'm going to click on this use as featured image link here at the bottom. And I'm going to ignore all this other stuff. Like I said, I'll go into that later. Probably a future video because this is already feeling pretty long. So use as featured image. It's going to save. I can see over here on the right hand side that it has changed. I can click the little X and make that go away basically. And there's my featured image. I don't have to worry about doing anything else with that. I am going to make sure that this is a subpage of resources, a child page of resources. So I want to make sure that the parent of this child page is set to resources. So then it'll automatically show up in the list of resources. I'm going to put, let's say 80. That's just going to make it lower, down the page and not the first one on the page, for example. One other thing I want to call attention to before I actually, publish this. Right now, we're in the what's called visual view. Right here are these little tabs. Visual and HTML. This doesn't change anything. All it does is shows my content either in HTML view, so you see these little bits of code with the funny brackets. Basically, these are all just HTML codes. And I usually, it's personal preference, I usually view things in HTML view. But visual view is probably what most everyone else who is not used to seeing a bunch of code would prefer. Again, personal preference. There are some examples where, in some instances, where you may need to switch into HTML view to post something. For example, if you are posting and embedding a video, let's say you found a video on YouTube for an event and you want to add that video, then you go to YouTube and it'll give you a bit of code. Then you have to switch over into HTML view and post it in there. Otherwise, everything else can be done in the visual view just fine. So just a note on when I'm talking about the visual view and the HTML view, that's these little tabs over here. Everything else, pretty self-explanatory. I would recommend not changing the color of text just because it may make it hard to read on the background that I have set up in the template. And also kind of changing the font or, styles, those kinds of things. I would stick with using, things like these headers or the bold and italics, bullet points, numbered lists, block quote, all of these things are just fine to use. And also to create links. So for example, let's say I want to create a link to an external site or a page on our site right here. So I'm going to highlight the words that I want them to be a link, whatever I'm going to click on to go to this page. And now I see this little icon of a link. I'm going to click on that once and it's going to give me an option to enter a URL. So now if I'm, for example, let's say it's on another page, I can put in the address, make sure to keep the HTTP://. Otherwise, it's going to not recognize that's an external page. Otherwise, I can click on this or link to existing content. And now I can kind of go through, and if I want to, I can search, and it's going to give me my, so it'll give me my kind of an idea of what is already on the site. So I can say I want it to link to the Women of the ELCA page that I have on this website. Click on that. It's going to auto-populate this with that address and a title. I can change this title if I want, and then just hit the add link. Now notice that it turns blue. It's going to be a link. When I hover over it, it shows me that title that I chose. And if I hit, I'm just going to hit publish now, because publish actually means it's going to go public on the website. So we can kind of see how things look on the public site. Okay. So now if I go to my resources, because I made this a child page of the resources, so I should see it automatically populated here, right there, on the resources page. So there's my little excerpt, there's my title, and there is my thumbnail. Now if I click on that, I'll see my full page. There's my link, there's my bold text, my subtitle, and my featured image is showing up here as well. And that's it. And it also shows up on any subnav that it is, a child page of. So that is the basics of editing and adding a new page. I will go into more detail with some things like adding images in addition to this thumbnail, because there is, for adding images in the actual content here in a later video.